So I'm diving into a new study adventure. Um, I'll probably get more books over time, but I'm reading a lot longer. I'm still reading sutra materials. I'm still, Longchenpa keeps winking to Bon the whole time he's writing. So I keep reading that. The Rime books were designed to express the Buddhist traditions to uh, primarily Bon practitioners, and so that's the books that I've got. Um, Alexander's people resurrected Buddhism after it had died out almost entirely. Um, though 100 years later, Ashoka's son found the Theravadins in Sri Lanka. So the Mahayana traditions and stuff like that are Greco-Buddhism that was probably um, reinvigorated through Bon. One of the things that um, the deepest teachings of Bon are too subtle for people to use functionally. And having a near close religion is usually more beneficial than detrimental. And there was, for, 18,000 years is a long time, and it can defy the idea of impermanence, which is necessary to understand in these forms. We want to go to the place where permanence accumulates in a positive way and not in a negative way. But in order to get there, we have to muddle through a bunch of impermanence. So I'm not really sure if my eyes are lazy today, but anyway, my culture here is that for 1,000 years, 200 years after Trisong Detsen, a group of people realized that they were being excluded from opportunity and decided to take off because they found out that even some of them were meeting a worse fate. Now they understood that they had lost their society because had a diminishment of their society because they had been teaching people to exceed their intellectual nature in such a way that they were separated from the goodness of life permanently. And this is something that's happening in the United States, especially towards women. But this was something that they were doing with people of various types, and that they had gone beyond necessity. They had gone beyond what was good for these people, and this had hit a tipping point. And that was the primary thing that they blamed for why they had lost their central governmental figure. It was basically like a Kagan Khan, if I understand correctly, because historically speaking, the territory claimed had other political boundaries within it, and these seemed to be a pervasive people that had their own guidance, but allowed other things to develop within them. And we're talking about Shengshang. And that for a time, Khotan had preserved some of their principles in terms of providing a market that was limited, that was a limited market based on their principles, and a voice at the negotiating table for commerce. But when that was lost, people began to wonder what they came to the New World. They came here 1,000 years ago, around the same time as the Eskimo. I actually have Eskimo gene markers So it was exactly the Eskimo migration. But they um, came here um, and expanded all the way down to the tip of South America and back. And a group of them settled here in Indiana. So they added bond to the Mayan tradition and called it Toltec. Now, it gradually changed, but mostly stayed the same. I used to know this old couple named Tantra and Tara. My great grandmother was Abam. Her name was Abam. They used to call her Bam Bam, and then they changed it to Iva. So in the 1830s, a man came here who brought more information about how things were in Tibet. Other people settled here. A lot of a lot of people from the steppes in the region and stuff like that found that they survived well on the sea as well, and there had been pirate enclaves here going back before Columbus, pre-Columbian pirate enclaves. So we never really fully. The Basques were fishing off of the northern coasts, northeastern coasts, and they never really were truly isolated. And the Phoenicians were mining electrum in the Black Hills. So some, if not all, of the shekels have the exact same mixture of electrum as Black Hills gold. Which I have a little piece here. So these are things that the people here had a different kind of, it is when you have the means to be more gentle and you don't use them, that change tends to be more catastrophic. But one of the things is I have this tattoo of a spawning sturgeon and an eagle, what looks like an eagle, with a face in the chest. And we still have a lot of people that are low differentiation because they're low distinction in how they reproduce. And we were the first people to start making distinctions in how we reproduced, which got us the first people to be kicked out of Africa. And when they finally started trying to address distinctions in reproduction and definitions of relationship, they excluded us as a legal possibility. And even it was ceased to be passive, and then they were making active choices to prevent our births. Because of the Greco-Buddhist fusion, Buddhism, as it existed after Alexander, participated in this.